I wrote Finding Lina for two reasons. The first reason was that when this whole thing happened, when Lina at 3.5 had her first seizure, it was very hard to even believe what was happening. It was very hard to integrate the experience. And to me, writing helps me understand things, sort things out, organize myself, and come to some kind of acceptance of what it is that's happening. So that was my, I would say, primary reason for writing. And my other reason for writing was that I wanted to reach out to other people in similar situations. Through the process, I found a lot of things. I found that Lina helped me and taught me to live in the moment, to take what I have and forget what I can't have, and to find acceptance and to see the beauty in what is, as opposed to regretting what isn't. So you know, I wanted to communicate that experience to other people, because it can be a very terrifying and hopeless and stressful situation. I would like to communicate something about how happiness, I know this kind of maybe sounds like a cliche, but I think that happiness comes from inside. And we can make choices about being happy, or not making those choices and maybe ending up miserable. You know, we can be miserable in very easy situations and circumstances, and we can be happy in very difficult and challenging situations. And if there's anything, I think that is something that Lina taught me, and you know, Lina and Elsa, and you know, the whole situation taught me that I don't really have a choice. I have to welcome light into this situation. Because her left brain isn't working in the way it's supposed to, her right brain is her right brain function is becoming more prominent. So Lina is extremely intuitive, and she can say things to people sometimes, even before knowing, even before they happen. And she can pick up on people's mood like nobody I ever know. And she can communicate without words in a way that really moves people. A couple of years ago, Lina was in a private school, and her teacher told me after the winter break that she absolutely has to talk to me. And she said, Lina, before the break, had pulled her hand and kept saying death, death, and there was so much urgency to it. But the teacher says, okay, I understand what you're saying. You know, she didn't understand what she meant. She came home on her break, and her father died during that time, and then she came back and told me this story. And I said to the teacher, the only thing that I think would be great if you did, just to tell Lina that you know now what she meant, so that you can validate what she does know. There's so many things that Lina cannot communicate, you know, so many things that all of us can and she cannot say, and that is holds a lot of frustration for her. But there are other things that she can communicate and see and understand that many of us are not as able to do, and I want to validate that for her. Tony was telling me, you know, there was a time when he was spending the whole day, a very stressful day, and he was going to pick Lina up at school. And he comes, picks her up, and she takes one look at him, and she says, "You are hungry." And it is true. He hadn't eaten for the whole day because it was such a stressful day. And he said, "Yes, you're absolutely very right. I'm very hungry." Yeah. In general terms, before autism, Lina was a very unusually generous and inclusive person. You know, I used to call her a little Buddha, because she really cared genuinely about other people. And sometimes I was even a little worried about it, because I felt she was giving everything away. But she took such joy in it, you know, and it wasn't like she couldn't communicate her own needs. She really could. So, you know, I took it as a strength. And She was amazing with her little sister. When she came around, she would have her play with all of her toys, be really interested in having her little sister be part of it, even when she was a baby. So she was very, just a very good little person, I have to say. I think that it was Lina's second MMR vaccine that triggered her autism. I didn't know that at the time. I had no idea what was happening, and neither did Tony or anyone else. But in conjunction with her MMR vaccine, she had her first seizure, and we did blood tests and EEG and things like that. And we did find that Lina had Epstein-Barr virus, and now we know that MMR vaccines and Epstein-Barr virus and seizures are very, very often associated in family after family with autism. And there's a lot of, this is a controversial issue, there's a lot of forces all over that is in denial of this, for obvious reasons. Mm-hmm. But I believe that it was Lina's second MMR vaccine that caused her autism. When it comes to Lina's future and my hopes and fears, I think that first of all, it's very difficult to know or plan for Lina's future, because I simply have no way of knowing where she's going to be. She has made a lot of strides. Her development, there's something dynamic about her development. It can change very quickly and very dramatically. Things can improve, things can get worse. So it's very difficult to plan. I know that there's not much in place for the growing number of kids with autism who are getting older and older. But I cannot plan it because I don't know where she will be. And also the other thing is, for me, there is no way for me to look at Lina in any other way than one day I will be able to communicate with her. I believe it, and I can't believe anything else. I guess I can't think that won't happen, and I don't want to think that. I want to believe that we are going to be able to communicate. She's going to be able to have secrets with her little sister. You know, they are going to giggle about boyfriends and keep secrets from me. You know, and that's what I believe. That's what's going to happen.
Well, first, if she could suddenly, really quickly, then I would probably faint. But if it wasn't sudden, I would ask her what it was like, about some times that were hard, like what she was thinking about it. And if she wanted to write a book, like the second book in the series, it could make a series out of the book, Finding Lina. And like Lina could write a book about what she felt, the same exact things.
That'd be great.
Like in the same order, but what she felt about it.
I would love to read that book.
It could be Finding Lina 2, from Lina's perspective. That's all I have to say.
Och från mitt hopp kan vi nå varandra. I den stora sorgens